Welcome, coming in, everybody. Put your camera on, wave, say hello, share where you're coming in from. Maybe share your favorite food, something fun. Tell us something about you as you're coming in, what you might like us to know about. We're getting ready for the session with Efu Nyaki, connecting to the fountain that never dies. And we are in the one-day summit on somatic attachment therapy. All right, so let's say no more and let's introduce Efu Nyaki. Today I'm practicing saying it right. She was born and raised in Tanzania, where she earned a Bachelor of Science degree, trained as a science teacher, and later on was trained as a healer using holistic methods from her ancestors. When she was 27 years old, she traveled to the USA and she joined a religious order. And 4 years later, she moved to Brazil, where she's been living for the past 29 years. And in Brazil, she's been working with popular movements, especially with women's groups, facilitating training and therapy for trauma healing using somatic experiencing, trauma resolution, and family constellation systems therapy. Efu also co-founded an NGO known as AFYA. It's a holistic healing center located in the northeast of Brazil. Efu is a faculty member of Somatic Experiencing and a professor of Family Constellation Systems Therapy by Hellinger Institute. And with these tools, she's been traveling to different countries: India, Egypt, South Korea, China, Bolivia, Peru, Spain, Uruguay, Tanzania. What a great list of places to go visit, right? Facilitating trainings and workshops on trauma healing. During COVID-19, Efu has been presenting in an online international program such as conferences, webinars, trainings, talks, festivals, and summits, and here with the Embody Lab. Welcome, Efu.
Thank you so much. Wow, that's a lot to say, a mouthful, but anyway. The important thing is our presence here with everyone. Welcome, welcome everyone. And thank you. I always like to work with Embodied Lab. It's really great. I'm very familiar to you all now, and I'm happy to be here with the population that follow you. You're doing a great job, and that's why everybody's here with you. So thank you everyone that is out there and those who are still coming in. So I'm going to jump in right into the material that we are going to present, so we have enough time. And I would like to do that by sharing the, I'd like for people to capture everything that I say. And that's why I actually like to share the PowerPoint that I prepared, yeah? Because that way we can follow everything that I'm saying, you know. Some of us who English is not our first language, we have accents. And then maybe some people, what did she say? What did she say? Then you're going to see it written. So that's great. That's wonderful. So I am bringing it out here right now. So talking about somatic attachment therapy. Yes, and I actually, for me, I call it the fountain that never dries. Because when we begin there, like you see that little baby just sucking in that fountain that never dries, that's what accompanying us to the world. That's what attach us to our mother. That's what attach us to our ancestors. It goes way back. I'm just going to also warn you, as we talk about these topics, you know, we're talking about connection. We're talking about the ancestors. We're talking about our mother. Oh my gosh, if I ever seen place where we have so much conflict is our relationship with our mother. But that's where the fountain is, fortunately, or maybe unfortunately. So look, if you get triggered, please just put your feet on the ground and know that it's not about you. It's not about your mother. It's about the traumas that happened in the past. And actually the healing is on its own way already. It's coming, it's here. We are here because we are healing ourselves. So please just notice that, take a little time, take a deep breath, notice the bodily sensation. We are here with the embodied people. This lab is wonderful because we are all embodied. Okay, so when we look at these images here, You see what the little baby is completely connected with the mother there. And then here the mother is a little bit worried and preoccupied, and the baby is really staring, right? And here we have an adult already, but in the image, she just sees two of them fighting. So that's it. Those are some of the things that we grow up with, the majority of us, yeah? And I think that's what might trigger, but I will invite you to be here with me, know that there's always a solution. So somatic attachment, let's say here, it's actually a somatic attachment therapy is vital for healing relationships, yeah, especially relational traumas. One of the necessity for healing trauma is safety. And safety lies in the metaphors of our subconscious mind, the reptilian part of our brain, where we access safety, danger, and threat. So sometimes we might stay there just feeling danger and threat, but we don't realize that there too, there is safety. So by paying attention to our body, by being present and finding some resources, we might be able to find that safety there. And really, as I'm talking, you know, this is a good thing about online courses. You are in your own house, in your own room, in your own places where you are so comfortable, cozy. It's cold right here. This time I'm visiting New York, it's very cold. But it's cozy to be in your own place. So where you feel safe. So I know you are safe as I'm talking about this and feeling that safety energy with you. It's very important as we talk about this. So the memory of gazing at our biological mother's eye brings safety, connection, and rest. When this gaze or connection was interrupted, one gets lost in the vast universe. This means difficulties in relationship in all aspects. However, interrupted relationships affect intimacy, spirituality, and sexuality. This is everything that makes us human. Yeah, and that's why I think urgent we need the healing. Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to talk about the interrupted movement. Now, it's the main trauma that hinder relationships, really. I've seen this so many times in my work everywhere. And there's no tribe, there's no country, there's no culture. It's across the board. A very common childhood trauma is the prematurely interrupted movement towards the mother or father, but most often towards the mother though, because she's the one who carries us there. When the child cannot reach the goal for one to whom he, she, they love, then turns their feel sad, angry, and at times despairs. This irritation, this despair, this sadness is nothing but the other face of love. A love that does not quite fulfill its purpose. Yeah. And some of this material also, I could say that I get support from Hellinger Institute website. Also, you can find a lot of material there that talks about this. So now, but before I continue though, let me see here. Before I continue explaining this, I would like to stop sharing this first on, and then I want to share just a little video. Okay. All right, so it comes. Okay, so yes, okay, so that is the movement I'm talking about. This is beginning from this movement. When it is interrupted, that's when we are really in trouble. Many I've seen, especially when during the surgeries The mother is separated from the baby after birth. I mean, there's so many examples that I think we can imagine there. Yeah. So let's go back to sharing. Okay. So when this movement is interrupted, of course, this movement starts there, but it can be interrupted at many other moments in life. Yeah. When this movement is interrupted, when a person comes into the adult life, a person try to go to someone else, yeah, for relationship, their body remember this interruption. Their movement towards the other person stops again. They cannot walk with their love, with their own feet. Often they retrace their steps. Each time they reach the state where they feel the painful sensation of their childhood, they stop and freeze. Irritation, anger, frustration comes back again the same way it was for the moment when it was done when they were little babies, or even an adolescent, also depends on the time. This same process will be repeated in the next relationship with another person, starting again with an interrupted movement at the same stage. The circular movement, which never reaches its goal, may be called neurosis or may be a complex relationship. So look at the faces of these kids. Yeah, those are disorganized, they're very much a disorganized style of interrupted movement, of attachment. So these are some of the examples of the babies whose movement have been interrupted. They look lost, frustrated, and distressed. Yeah. When you look at the other stage of adult, interrupted movement may result in withdrawal, resentment, and distancing from relationships. Look at these figures here. Yeah, that's what we find many times in our therapies as we are doing therapies. So anyway, I just like to say that we cannot just stay with giving examples of how there's so many examples of why and how we see people reacting because of the interrupted movement. So now we're going to see how do we complete this movement? How do we bring healing? In really many ways, in many simple ways, we can do this. So the biological mother is the most apt to complete the interrupted movement. When the child is still small, it is easy for the mother to do this process when she is aware of it. Like having moments where the mother hold the baby really close to them and squeeze them close to them, to have the baby feel secure. Even if mother have to work, have to do things, but if they spend a lot of time connecting again with the baby and squeezing the baby recover themselves. It's a long time there, but they do recover after some time if the mother become aware of what had happened. If not, I had a niece who also, this nephew who had a problem was when he was 2 years old, he was so distressed, his body, and he was acting up, biting people, spitting on people's face. Well, because I knew this, I helped. My sister had no condition to do this. She was also so distressed. So I did this process for my sister while I was holding my sister together too. Just holding the baby close to my bosom and squeeze it and feeling the baby moving up and down until the baby sweat. And then I let go. I did that a number of times and the baby completely changed its habit. Yeah. Here again, we see these mothers here also moving the babies, holding the babies in their bosom and being able to do that. Yeah. So usually the baby will stop the movement once in a while, just like we saw at the birth. Yeah. They do stop, like when you're holding them, they kind of keep quiet for a while and they stop moving. You could feel it. And then they begin to move again, and then they go again the second time. So, yeah, so those pictures I put here, just showing different ways that the mother can do it very close and let the baby struggle inside there, but eventually they quit, they stop, and they feel again. Yeah, yeah, they feel again that warmth that was interrupted. And at this point, the safe container that the mother would have provided is repaired. The energy of irritation and frustration is transformed into flowing energy of love and pleasure. Hence, a sense of safety again. Remember, I'm talking about safe too at the beginning. Now, okay, so maybe there was no opportunity. We don't have an opportunity to do it while the child is still small. Okay, we are in the phase of adult. We still have the opportunity. How to complete uninterrupted movement for adult child. The mother can also retrospectively help her adult child to complete the interrupted movement, transforming the consequences of such interruption. The mother hugging the son or the daughter, squeezing a grown-up child in her arm, and she has an intention in her mind. She knows what happened. But for this to happen, the movement must be done recalling the time when the interrupted moment happened. So, because this can be confused as a child who really still just want to be so attached to the mother, even though he, she, they are 40 years old, also doing this movement can confuse. But when the mother have an intention just to repair that moment, it usually works and the child actually understand. Their souls will understand, yeah? The mother will know this in her soul, like I say, projecting the interrupted movement to the goal that will serve the present moment. Therefore, while the mother embraces her adult child, the child must feel like the one before, small and in a place of receiving. That's another tricky thing. Now, at this moment, I think that adult child need to be in a place of receiving, which is very, very hard. I think that's complicated. No longer want to receive, like, you didn't give me, now I'll give you. But no, the child, adult needs to be in a place of receiving because it's that place, yeah? Okay, so now sometimes you will say the mother is no longer there, she died already, or she's in a place where they are no longer in touch. They, you know, we cannot get in touch with them. Anybody else can do it in this way. When the mother or father is not available, other people can represent them. For a young child, it may be a close relative therapist, a nurse, or a teacher. For an adult, an experienced therapist can do it. But we must wait for the right moment. Of course, somebody looking for this kind of healing, and they're also ready for this. Sometimes they're so angry, they're so frustrated with their own mother, they don't want to see them, so we have to wait. The therapist or the person who is going to help connect inward with the mother or father. Okay, see, this is very important. The therapist or an aunt or whoever, we need to connect with the image of the mother. We don't know them though, but I can imagine. I look at the person and I imagine behind that person, there's a mother, there's a father. I connect with them. And as I connect with them, I can hold this person and you know, like as I'm hugging or as I'm putting them on my lap, yeah? Then she, he, they may represent the mother or the father. So when I imagine the parents, I can represent them because I'm not replacing this mother. We have to be careful about that. I'm representing. So in this way, the therapist must visualize the parents and convey the love to the client with the image of the client's mother in place. And the moment the inner child of the client contact their mother's love, the therapist withdraw and let the client enjoy for a while the mother's true love, the fountain that never dries. Well, we also have indigenous cultures and how they heal this. I thought I should mention here, since I'm also in touch with this type of the world also. Many cultures have their own ways of healing the difficult relationship between the mother and the child. One is through community, yeah, healing songs, guiding the child to find its mother lap, while the mother is openly waiting for the child to arrive. The community knows this happened, and so they help. They do rituals. They put the mother someplace, and then the child with the community is led, child adult already now, is led to the mother's lap, and then everybody clap or everybody add into that. It's beautiful when we see that happening. Also, there's through dancing circles where a child is placed in the middle with the mother and dance together. And then the two reconcile there. So all indigenous people have their own ways of doing this. All right, so just write down your questions and we will talk about it shortly. Okay. So this process is easier said than when it's done, really. And that's why I want to bring in the whole question of reverence. I know if your mother gave you to adoption or there was some complication and we are separated, this creates a lot of anger, lots of pain. I know some of you are out there listening to me and knowing that is very true. Well, I tell you what, this is through my experience. So much pain, so much suffering, it makes us big, which is good, no? It's a way of defending ourselves. We become big. I don't need you anymore. I never wanted to need you. I'll never want to talk to you and disappear, get off. I grew up by myself. Why would I need you? Okay, it's almost like a pride, or maybe even arrogant, but it's clear and understandable because the person suffered. So it comes from the suffering. So the suffering makes us big, and nothing bad about that. Now, the awareness, that's why I want to talk about reverence. So when I'm able to actually look at it and feel like I am always thirsty for relationship, for my mother, for something deeper than just the hundreds of people I tried to relate, I couldn't. And come to me, I introduce reverence. Because when we bow, when we make ourselves small, sometimes when I say that, especially in the US or in the modern world, how do we call this modern world? In the Western world, when I talk about this in the Western world, people feel it's very strange, becoming small. And I try to explain it. I don't know if it will ever be understood, but probably the word that comes close to this being small is being humble. Probably that's what I'm trying to say, really. Yeah. So when we are able to be humble and bend before this mother who gave life, but maybe nothing else, yeah, but life the most. If I'm able to bend and reverence and feel humble, then I think I can receive. I can be in that place of receiving, okay? It doesn't come overnight though, okay? So sometimes the adult child interrupt their movement towards their parents because they despise or disapprove of them, because they have their impression that they are better than their parents. So this is an interrupted movement in the adolescent stage. So this reverence corresponds first to an inner evolution. Okay, look, this is evolution. Being humble is really evolution. It's a spiritual step. But it gives more strength if it is visible and audible. Like I could say, I recognize that whatever happened separated us, I don't know, but I recognize that you are big. You are the mother and I'm small. I'm the child. Okay. Just we're almost finishing. The reverence again. This can be done in a support group also, yeah, in which the child positioned before the family of origin bends over the representative of his or her own their parents until they feel deep breath coming into their refreshes and then the whole being. You know, as we bend, actually, we can feel the pain going away from us slowly. It has to be gentle, nothing forced. Then there will be an impulse of saying that I reverence you. For you came before me and you gave me all that you could, you know, all that I am a child, you are the mother, you know, and maybe thank you will come along. This is very deep connection with a mother or a father. It's a deep way of reconciliation of many conflicts that run through many generations. When one of us in this generation, I'm able to really burn like that and Anna, I'm sure the rest, my mother, my grandmother, my grand, if they were holding some energy someplace, they also do the same thing. So it's a healing of generations from generations. It is important that the parents that are representing, if we are doing with the representation, yeah, do not speak anything. The person who is representing, you don't say anything, yeah, during entire process. And above all, that they do not walk towards the child, but rather that they accept the reverence in the parent's place. So many times the parents also cannot accept the reverence of a child. That's also, it's from the transgenerational trauma too, from back there. If I don't reverence myself, it's hard for me to receive the reverence. Yeah, that's also, it's a problem. So we said that if you can wait there and reverence it, and you don't go after the child, they can only embrace and the child when it has finished its process. So the child finish and then the parents can embrace, and that's also the conflict is resolved. Now, there's a movement, I call this this is beyond the movement which is beyond towards the parents, right? The movement towards parents and reverence bear fruit if we go beyond them. Then we feel in deep harmony with our origins, and we can say yes to all the consequences that result from our parents. In this way, reverence becomes a symbol to fulfill our destiny. For those who have succeeded in expressing this reverence in its fullness, completing their movement towards their parents, can even, as a child, stand with all dignity next to his or their parents on the same level, neither below nor above, experiencing adult strength, love, and fulfillment. Yeah, that means until when I reverence my parents, then I feel the fulfillment in myself. I become an adult who is fulfilled, and I can do the same, the other one. Okay, I think this is the last one. Then we can dialogue, right? We'll have enough time to talk. Okay, so I just wanted to bring this in actually to just integrate with all this process of healing. So this is it's not just an individual thing, really. When I heal my interrupted movements with my parents, because there can be many, I can actually join others, and we become healing collectively after we have healed our interrupted moment. We can heal collectively. I've been participating a lot with in the workshops with Thomas Hubble, and I love his style also. And I remember him talking about 3 levels of healing, right? Collectively. So, but it's very hard to heal collectively if I have my material that I have not looked at. So the relationship starts at home. It starts with my mama and my father, my siblings, and it goes on like that. So self-regulation from Peter Levine, being present, embodiment that you people are emphasizing so much. I've given many workshops with this group here. Embodiment, just being present in our body, being present in the moment of now, and feeling my body, and welcoming all the distress, all the pain, all that I'm feeling. It does transform. And I will find resilience in myself. And I can soothe myself. And I can find my ancestral energy. Then I can connect with my mother, with my father, with my ancestors. And then I feel I am full. I am the whole person. Therefore, I can go out and I can co-regulate. Talk about the co-regulation. I remember being with Thomas Harbaugh, and it says like, I feel you as you feel me. No, I can only do that. I can only see you and you see me when I am connected to myself and to my origin and to my energy. So I see others and we begin to kind of help each other to regulate. You know, from there, when we can co-regulate, we can let go of the energy of fight, flight, energy of always picking on each other, but just being there for healing. Connection. We can actually just feel like we belong. Yeah. You say here's connection, belonging, love flowing. Oops, sorry. Free from fight energy. And group regulation. Then we can all, as we are all here together, I see 600 and something people, then actually we can actually feel the energy with one another and heal one another, because I feel comfortable with myself and I connect with the other. Even if not completely, but I bring a little bit of that resource, then we can heal one another collectively. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. And actually, because I think this topic needs a lot of dialogue. Stop sharing. And then we are here. So, Denise, I think maybe now it's time we can, I wanted to really leave enough time for passion.
Absolutely. I want to share something really important that's coming up for at least one of our participants right now, is that she's feeling a great deal in her body. Her mother tried to kill her and was found unfit by the court. And she's tried to heal from this wound. And when we talk about reverence, her body contracts and collapses, and bowing to her would seem to undermine my newly found reverence for my own self. Can you please speak to any special circumstances when this methodology might be harmful, re-traumatizing, or perhaps there's something that she's not understanding about what you're saying?
Sure. Right. You know, I work with both the methodology of somatic experiencing. So with somebody like this, with this person, this participant, I will work with them on one-on-one, feeling our body, noticing our body. Remember there, I just said here, actually in the last, in our last slide, I said that with somatic experiencing, I invite the client to be in touch with the body. I bring in resources. I hold the client very much here with me, with a lot of resources, not necessarily the mother. When the person is not ready to have a mother as a resource, there are other resources that we can find. The entire planet is full of wonderful things. So we can bring other resources that helps the person to actually take care of the pain. So what we are doing now, our mother can no longer take care of that pain. But I can heal that pain using other resources and hold inside my body that little child, that baby child inside of me. We call them inner child, right? So I hold that inner child inside of me. And I use all these methodologies that we are learning here to help the child heal. And after the child is actually healed, as an adult, with no more resentment, with no more pain, actually, then I might be able to say, yes, I can say thank you to life, even though you wanted to take it away. Well, for some reason, you still let it be because today I'm alive. You know what I mean? So that I don't know if that is helpful, but I use many other methodologies too. I use holding, I use touch, I use mud therapy to cuddle. We use so many different methods to help the person come to that place first. Okay. Did I answer that?
Awesome, thank you. Alexandra Konak, would you like to unmute and jump in? We'll spotlight you.
Yes, sure.
Hello,
my.
I make a short introduction. So my mother had me when she was 18.
Yeah.
By accident somehow. For many times she tried to avoid having me. So she did many things to herself also.
Yeah.
But I came prematurely at 7 months. I was incubated, of course.
Yeah.
And when she brought me home, the discussion with her mother, my grandmother, who raised me actually, was that I was supposed to be taken to adoption.
Mm-hmm.
The mother was with me in her arms, and actually she ran away from that place. She said she couldn't give me, even though she knew that she cannot, and she cannot raise me, that she has to go back to school. And my father was going to different countries, and he didn't want to, let's say, raise me. The knowledge that I'm his daughter, but that's all. Yeah. Anyway, somehow I was raised by my grandmother. Of course, a lot of constriction in myself about that. And I lived a life of, let's say, I'm going to prove that I'm worth it, that I worth the life that I so much fought for.
Right.
And of course, I got back to self-regulation with everything I'm doing. Yes, good. Yes. So with this self-regulation, I somehow felt that I forgave my mom, and I even feel sorry for this mission that she had in this life to do this to her first child. And the question is like this. So from afar, so if I'm here, she lives in another country. In Italy, I live in Bucharest. So I feel an enormous, let's say, way of holding her and talking to her. I always want her to touch my face, to caress me. Yeah. But every time she comes, when I see her, and it's like everything in my body gets very, very afraid.
Yes.
It's something, and then I try to do the self-regulation, but it doesn't work anything in that moment so close to her.
Yes. I understand that perfectly, Yeah, Alexandra. So can I speak now? Yeah. I'll invite you to just notice your feet on the ground and notice the chair that is holding you. And so beautiful, you were able to do your own self-regulation. And you can imagine now, the one thing I'm just going to, very good. Feel the body, the shoulders. And you can imagine, now this is very, very helpful. Imagine your mother being supported by her mother behind you, and her mother being supporting her mother. So they're like the chain of like 5 or 6 grandmothers behind you. So in a way, your mother is receiving something from all these other women. Yeah. Just imagination, without any story now of what you just talked. Just imagination of this energy. It's almost like the river, the waterfall, coming down. Yeah. And if from up there, it's one grandmother, grandmother, and it comes down, it comes down, and then you're the last one to receive all of this. But your mother is there just like a channel. She doesn't own all this love, all this energy, but she's the channel. It's just passing through her and it comes to you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I will invite you to open your eyes so you don't dissociate. Yes, very good. Yeah. Right. I want to see your beautiful eyes. Yes, that's it. And just feel that energy coming. Yeah, that's the energy of these ancestors. So something happened to your mom. And well, we don't know. And like you talk about trying to forgive her, it's actually impossible to forgive somebody. But if we just say, because if we want to forgive them, we are bigger than them already. But if I just say, well, I'll take care of myself, and maybe I don't know what happened. Then maybe just say thank you for life. Even 7 months was already a good amount of life. Right? I always said even 7 months was good enough to bring you alive. Hey, we are happy we see you now right in front of us. Right? I'm so happy you survived. Your soul is so strong. It wanted to come by any means. Right? But she just became a channel, and that's all she could do. Then she had to follow her own destiny. And here you are. Oh. And how do you feel in your body right now? Yeah.
It's very warm.
Nice, warm. Yeah.
And it's alive. It's like the body feels life.
Yes. Your body feels life. Very good. Enjoy that and enjoy this life. Enjoy this life that the body is feeling right now, and tell us, yes, I'm alive.
Yes, I'm alive.
And I'm real.
Yes, I am real.
Yes. And you're bringing us this beauty, this life, bringing to this world in front of you. We are very happy and thankful. Yeah. So, I could stay longer with you, Alexandra, but I know there are other hands that are waiting out there. But what I will invite you to do is to make a drawing like that, of like following. You just seeing in all of your 4 mothers before you, and you are the last one, smaller one here, and imagine receiving all of that. And you include your mother there, though. And then just make her a channel, make a hole in her that she's passing that energy down to you. And that's all she could have done. Okay? And then you will be looking at it and feeling good in your body. Thank you. And if you need, you could look for my address, and then we can work some more. Okay? My email or my contact. Thank you so much for being so courageous and share that. Thank you. Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, so now I see. Well, Denise, you might know the list. I want, or like, can you help me, please?
There are many questions here. One question that's come in is, what would you advise to help people with extreme narcissistic traits that have lost their mother, parental figures, during their adolescence, young childhood due to cancer or other traumatic events? Knowing the person isn't exactly open to healing at that point in time, though they may show glimmers of their true selves in moments when they accept uncomfortable love and let their walls down. So it looks like, you know, they're trying to give advice to someone who has extreme narcissistic traits that lost their parent, their mother early in life. How do you help that person at this point?
Wonderful. You know what? We cannot really try to advise somebody who is not ready to hear it. We cannot. But you know what I do when I see somebody is extreme like that? I always look at them. I connect with my own ancestral energy, and I imagine their parents behind them. I imagine their mother and their father, even, you know, they're dead, but, you know, in their DNA, they're there. So I imagine their mother and their father behind them. And I imagine the more ancestors there. I just see like a river, you know, following them. And then I actually, if I cannot do before they see me, I bend, I bow.
Yeah.
I bow. Yeah, I say, well, I bow before your ancestral energy, which can help you heal, but, and that's it. So what I'm saying, I'm relying on your own ancestors who know better about what has happened in your life. And I leave it with them. And sometimes people change actually. I have had some results. I mean, I have this center she talked about that Denise shared with you. Really, you know, it's a center where we have lots of people coming in with a lot of traumatic experiences. So sometimes somebody come and they're not, I don't know if we call narcissistic, but like almost like a mental health problem, and they are fighting with others and all that. I don't call police at all, but I look at them and I imagine their parents and they calm down. Yeah, and I bow before them. So that's what I do, but I would like to wait for them to come to me though, when they said, I really need help, then we can do what we are learning here.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I think I answered that. Let's go to another one so we have a chance to answer many questions.
So May, would you like to unmute?
Okay.
Perfect.
My issue is I kind of know the theory, but sometimes it's still driving my life. Because when I was writing about my life, because my therapist required me to write, so I realized that my mom said she should have strangled me to death when I was a baby. So it's like, it's really hard to let love in. You know, it's like I always like to run away from people. Even I have a partner, if each time he doesn't keep his word, but I feel hurt, I felt like nobody wants me and I'm not lovable.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
The body feels it, right?
Right, May. So
yeah.
So now, just as you're telling that, I just want you to notice your body right now. The more you tell it, the emotion comes, and then the more pain. Just notice your body. I know all those stories, we hear them so much. And yeah, just feel the feet on the ground and notice your shoulder. Yeah, notice the chair that supports you right now. Yeah, and you know, as you're looking at me, I see, oh yeah, I can see myself. Can you see yourself? Yeah. And you can say, wow, my mother tried to kill me, but I survived it. Whatever happened, she was so bigger than me. I was just a little toddler. She tried to, but I survived. Like, what made me survive? No, but none of us can answer that, right, May? No.
I think sorry. She might have postnatal depression because I went to nursing school. So I know that it's not her fault, right?
Right. So this is
but the fear.
Yeah, but May
wanted is always there.
May, stay with me.
Yeah.
You see, you are constantly talking about her. My therapy, I focus on the person in front of me. So yeah, you know, your mom was maybe it's post birth depression that happens. She could have had mental problem that happens, but it doesn't really help for you to keep talking about that problem that is her. But you can look at yourself and say, really, the important thing, first, I survived. Yeah. At that moment, I think it was painful in the baby's body. But I think as the new synapses are formed in your body, in the place where she touched to try and kill you, the new synapses have been born and replaced again and again. Now, if new synapses are born and they are born with with your mind, keep bringing that up, they will continue bringing the pain. But if you let go by saying, looking at yourself in the mirror like now, say, I survived. There must be some bigger reason for me to survive. This is wonderful. So then the new synapses are born every minute to replace the old ones that have pain and continue imagining the survival, which is most important. And things that you're doing today that are so wonderful. Now, when you gain your balance and your equilibrium, you can actually look at your mother and say those things like, I now understand what was going on with her. Okay, so how do you feel in your body right now?
I feel calmer.
Oh, nice. And your voice is clearer. It's beautiful. That's it. Now I will invite you, before you tell me anything else, look around. Just look around slowly. Look around slowly in your room where you are. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Is there anybody there that might do something to harm you?
No.
No. Look again. Yeah. That's it. And this is what you should do all the time. When you feel fear, because that's the memory from the past, you look around slowly and you certify that I'm safe. I'm safe. I'm safe. And we can slowly do this in therapy. I mean, I look, I go back to the body, look, go back to the body, until you are able to actually look at your mother's eyes. And then once you will certify that the danger is over. That's what I said at the beginning of my workshop. And then actually wow, you can begin to connect with everybody with no fear anymore. Yeah, the danger is over, even right now, like you look around. Right, Nay? Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right. And you can look for me. Thank you. All right. Now, next, Denise, my dear, my friend.
I'm here. Would you like to take one more question?
Yes.
Okay, we'll keep going. Esperanza Martinez, would you like to unmute?
Esperanza.
Yes.
She's in the car.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, what a blessing. I didn't think I would get through. I'm driving to my old stomping grounds, UC Santa Cruz, with my kids for the first time in 21 years. So I have a very tense relationship with my mother. I adore her, and then I cannot physically get close to her when she is in my home, which is my childhood home that I purchased from her and my father. So she lives in Mexico, I live in Los Angeles. And when she comes for months without, checking in if it's okay with me, over the last 4 years, I've started to develop this very it's angry and resentful and just disdain and physical a reaction to her. I cannot touch her. I cannot look her in the eyes. I cannot hold her. But I remember my oldest son is 11, at some point, like I adored her and a lot through my life, but we mirror each other's addictive behaviors. And so I don't know if part of it is like, I see her and her alcoholism, and I see myself, I'm currently like, 88 days sober. But I'm like, oh, you gave me all of these terrible things and I just want to release them because she's 64. She's not going to be here forever. So I was just curious to hear what advice you had to help heal that, because she's going to be here in a few weeks and I don't want to feel repelled by her presence.
I know.
Thank you.
I know, you're welcome. Esperanza. So Esperanza, we know what happens is we are so much like our mother in that sense, and then we become on the same level. Again, you remember the reverence word I talked about? If you can actually, visualize yourself smaller and she's big, you will, if you're not driving, I was going to make you do this exercise. Like you try it at home, okay? You make the image of your mother and your father together, and you put it on the wall high up, and you sit on the floor, and you look at her and next to your mom, and then you say, yes, mom, you are my mother, and I am the child. Okay, so what are you doing? You are taking the ownership of your place of belonging to that family as a child. So mama, you are a mama, and I'm a child. You gave, I receive. And thank you so much for being my mama. Now, mama, you gave me so many things. Now, at this place, I ask for permission to choose. I'll give you back the alcoholism because it's too much for me, and I will stay with your love. That I can manage, because that then I will pass on to my children. But the alcoholism, I'll give it back to you with reverence. And this way we can be together in the same space, but different way of being. Can you try that, you think? Yeah, right? When you get home, do that. It will work out, I think. Okay? It's a very simple. All right, Esperanza.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, that's it. Uncoupling dynamic. Yeah. All right. Okay. I guess the time is over. Well, we have 6 more minutes. Do you think we can answer another question for 6 minutes? We can, no? Because it's, I think I have 6. I'm following my time here, right? We have 6 minutes to finish.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can answer one more quick.
Okay. There is another question coming up. The same person who asked, and I guess on the same line of questioning, I'm just trying to bring it up here so I get it correctly. She shares that she feels that she witnessed May shift from exile to manager, and she has real concerns about the use of this method for those who've survived homicidal parents and carry exiles or as their inner children who are carrying that burden. And she wants to know about asking that child to bow to one who's tried to take her life. And she's concerned about what that does and what does to those inner children.
Right. So I'll just say one thing very important here. We human beings, we are really good at staying at the past. So my mother wanted to take my life when I was, I'm also in my 60s, right? So if my mother, and actually, either she said it, somebody told me the story, and the stories I told in a linear way, okay? Usually when you read a book of Peter Levine, which is called Memory and Trauma. And then you will understand what storytelling and memory is all about. There's so many things we believe that happened. But then 10, 20 years later, 60 years later, you discover that it's not exactly how it was, or it never happened at all. I mean, I don't want to call anybody here a liar, not at all. Don't misunderstand me. I'm just saying that our memory, what it remembers, and the stories, how they are told, and how we hear the story being told, there's this big gap in between, okay? So now, go back to the story. Your mother wanted to kill you 50 years ago. Do you think that that continues today? If the mother, somebody just said there, I know, May, I think said, I think as a nurse, I know my mother might have been in a depression which comes after the birth, many times for the women, poor mothers, you know, they do all this and they get all the blames. Oh my gosh, I feel so painful for the mother. Anyway, so she could have had that moment, and it was a moment. Then she healed from that. And probably by then you were taken to social, I don't know, to some other place for care, or aunt or grandmother, and that was it. So, but your mother have changed since. Your mother is a different person, but we're still holding her on the killing phrase of what happened in the story. I mean, just reflect a little bit about that. That's all I invite people to do. Yeah? Because what I'm saying, everything change every minute, every moment. So do we give people a chance? So, and when I also, and I want to conclude by this, when I say that you can imagine reverencing your mother, you don't have to go and find out where your mother is right now. She could have been dead too. She's dead. And you're just reverencing. It's for you, it's not for your mother. When I reverence, my DNA, which is carrying my mother, gets transformed into a healed person. Less fighting, less fear, less arrogance, and so forth. So, okay, that's it. I think I'm so glad I had a chance to answer this question, because this is so important. Remember that. But please read the book of Peter Levine, Memory and Trauma, and you will understand what I'm talking about, especially the storytellings. Thank you so much.